How is it going, everybody? Making sure I'm coming through well, coming through strong, dropping my controller. My shit is definitely together. Do not question that. Oh, let's see. Let me pull the chat window up so I can reply to you guys. Yeah, how is it going, everybody? It is another wonderful Monday. Excellent Monday here at Freeze Peach Gaming. I am Steven, and I come to you from the interwebs and a strong, heightened sense of arousal. Welcome, everybody. Gonna just do another fun and easy Witcher stream. Witcher 3. This game's nice and easy to just. Hey, look, I have 2 pointers here. Game easy to hop in and out of. Something I think is good fun. So we'll hop right in. So, there's been some stuff going on in the world today.
Black suits the gentleman. Does the outfit satisfy
Well, nothing crazy in the world today, but mostly going to talk, I think, pop culture. This time around,
A studded doublet and a...
Yes.
It's a saying.
but yeah, watched,
Now, powder my nose.
let's see, Chris Gore
No need.
did a video
The gentleman's
recently came out on
complexion
Film
is
Courage. I
like
really
milk.
like his,
The gentleman is to stand before the ruler
I
of
really
the
like
north and
his
south.
little
I must confirm
interviews
that
he
knows
does with
how to bow.
Film Courage. They're really good. I think he's an interesting guy to listen to. He has some good views on most things, particularly with pop culture, and also like even if we were to go into the political realm, you know, Chris Gore is
Confirm away.
he's just a minded
Please
person,
watch.
freedom oriented. So I don't think I would
Like
have any issue
extended.
there at least.
Hand flat, head down,
But
chin
yeah.
to chest. The gentleman will rehearse.
Yeah, he was talking. What was it? Left leg forward, right hand on chest, I think.
Lacking fluidity and grace.
Yeah, close enough.
But we've learned to expect
Um,
less of Nordlings.
Yeah, he was talking about why
Come with
movie
me.
franchises tend to suck these days, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that things are made by committee, which
The
is
gentleman
very
will
much
address
true.
the emperor only when asked to,
You know,
and
it's
using the
and he
appropriate
brings up
time
all of the
interval.
points. I didn't think he was going to bring up the economic
I fear
points
the
as to
gentleman is
why
in
a
the
lot
mood
of
for
movies are
jests.
made by committee
I fear the
these
emperor
days.
might not share his disposition. Your Majesty will
Mostly it's
suffice.
because they have to.
Spoken loudly,
I would say,
clearly,
you know,
and
you
with
have the
respect.
wokeness that comes from the writers and the new creators, the young people who've been taught throughout their lives that they're going to be rewarded for simply having a, you know, you do the virtue signal and everybody claps, ooh, virtue signal, so they can just virtue signal in the shows and get praise. That's what they think will be able to happen. But a lot of it also has to do with the fact that they have stockholders that they're beholden to. No, fuck him here. I ain't bowing.
Your Imperial Majesty.
Arer ep do orde.
Valiant namen, Vatkan favor.
But yeah, so they make these movies by committee. They have a formula that they have to follow because they know it's going to be successful, and they're investing so much money into this that if they have, I mean, it's also an unfortunate. Just it has to do with not so much
many
Western
months of
economics, but
protest court.
particularly American
Yet you still
business
have a
practice.
mouth
Is
at
we
the
tend to
basics
dump
of
all of
etiquette.
our eggs into the
Know
next
what they
venture.
say.
Now,
Don't teach
the
an old
Hollywood
wolf
industry
new
has
tricks.
a lot of money just sitting around that they could make more films with, but they keep so much of it tied up that, like, 3-4 flops in a
you
row
didn't
and a
summon me to
company's
reminisce
going
about
under.
the good old
Like,
days.
they can't
So,
handle a long
silence.
period without profit.
My daughter Cyrilla, she's returned, and she's in danger.
And so they
The wild hunt
have to
pursues her.
ensure that they're going to make money,
You will
they're going to
find
be
her and
profitable,
bring her to
which
me.
harms the overall value,
How many
of
men
the,
in your army? 20,000? 30?
creative value
So
of the
why
film itself,
me?
the entertainment
You know
value,
why.
I'd say, not the
Because you
monetary
trust
value, because obviously enough
She
people are,
trusts me.
even these days, still
Yes.
going in and putting
So
enough
tell me why you were
quarters into the
looking for
machine,
her.
you know, forking
it's about
over a
making up
ridiculous
for all
amount of
those
money to
lost
go see
years.
a live
For
film
reasons
in
of
theaters
state,
these
as
days.
always. Enough of this banter.
That, like,
You
I
will
mean, a
agree
movie has to be
regardless. If for
next
no
level
other reason
for
than
me to want to
because
go
I
out of my way.
suppose.
When I had a
Your
39-inch
customer will
TV,
receive for a
which
contract
was, I mean, it was a good flat screen
considerably
39-inch
more.
TV.
Save your generosity.
You know,
for
even
those
then,
whose
I would
homes
I
your
would be a
armies
bit
have
picky and
raised.
choosy, mostly because I,
I'll
you
do
know,
it
had
for
just
Siri,
invest a lot of money
not
into
for
a
your
home and
gold.
everything, and
Your
so I was
motives
worrying
do
more
not
about that.
interest me. Only results. Yennefer will tell you the rest. This audience is finished. Mererid! Take him to the sorceress.
But yes, yeah, you know, these movies they're the studio execs come in and they say, you know, we need A, B, C, and D in the film because we know it's successful, and then you have the HR department who comes in and says, oh, you know, not only do we have to do,
Nothing happened.
you know, all of these things because it's shown to be, you know, a formula that works in having successful films, but we need you to do, you know, we need to have a woman in the lead, and we need to have a person of color who is their best friend, and it's kind of like how romance movies for a long time had the gay best friend, because but that was just these out of touch executives. I'll talk to Van
Mind if I
Morus.
interrupt?
Why not join in instead?
We're discussing neutrality. How difficult it is to preserve.
Know a thing or two about that.
Care to explain?
Never changes. I try to stay out of things, stand aside. Then comes an urgent summons, and an offer I can't refuse. Enough about that. Mind if we change the subject? So, talk to the Emperor.
Why did he summon you?
So not even you know.
No. But I wager it's an ordinary witch's contract.
Some werebubs. See ya.
Soon, mind you.
What was I talking about? Ah, films and why. He was specifically talking about why franchises failed. I think he brought up, Chris Gore, that is, brought up a really interesting point, that it's, the franchise began with a single person having a very particular vision that they felt a need to bring into the world, to create and to share with other people. And a lot of that gets tarnished over the years when it passes from hand to hand, and when you have different motives that are placed in front of that, particularly profit-driven motives. Now, you want a film to be profitable, of course.
Yes? Then transcribe. The true authority in Novigrad is not the city council or the merchants guild.
Like, even an indie film creator wants to make a profitable film.
Geralt, that tunic. You look positively smashing.
Dying to take it off.
I'd consider that a proposition under different circumstances. One I might even take you up on. But we've matters to attend to. Now do you
Yeah, you know,
understand why
you put
Anatomy is caught?
profit in front of that, and then
And
you
seems
put
we're in the same boat
having to
now.
have a particular message in the film.
Silly.
That goes
She's
on top
really
of,
bad. No chance he's mistaken.
needing to make a good movie.
Look, that's more or less what she looks like now. Or so our agents claim. Our little witch has grown into a young lady.
How about that? She's grown up.
It's been years since you trained together at Kaer Morhen. A great deal has changed.
You haven't. Not a bit.
I missed those awkward compliments of yours. But let's focus on Ciri, all right?
Right.
But yeah.
Amir said the Wild hunt's after her. I'd find that hard to believe before what happened yesterday.
Yeah,
How did
I
they
think it's
track us
just,
down?
it speaks a lot to the unfortunate
of
state
me.
of the film industry these days that,
You see, I've spent
even
months
movies I'm
searching
looking
for
forward
Ciri,
to, we've had so
using
much
locating
crap come out
spells,
over
halusphacy, geomancy,
especially the
anything,
past
really.
5-6 years,
I knew the
that
Wild
even
Hunt
when a
might
new
sense
film
it,
that I'm
perhaps
looking
even
forward to
find me.
comes out, I still, like, I have to hold it at arm's distance. I have to...
Well, guess
I
you
have to
were
tell it to
wrong.
back up a little bit, and I'll reserve my
sensed them on
judgment
my
for when I
trail,
see the
hunting
movie, and
me
I can't
for some
have
time.
any hype for it, which
If
is
not for you
partially a
and the
good
mere
thing because you
soldiers,
can
they'd have
hype
gotten what they
yourself
were after.
up to a point where
can't
if it
risk
doesn't meet
another
your
encounter like
expectations,
that.
you'll be upset about it.
It's time to put away
Um,
the magic, turn to more traditional methods.
But it's
To
like
the
I
best
can't
tracker
even
I know.
get hyped for a
You
film
must
anymore.
find her, Geralt,
Like
before the
Top
Wild
Gun
Hunt
2 is
does.
coming out, and the trailer for Top Gun 2 has looked pretty good.
So where's Ciri been seen exactly?
But
In two
I
places,
have to hold out judgment.
Velen and
I
Novigrad.
have to hold out judgment until I
The trail
actually
in
see
Velen
the
is most
movie.
promising. You should make that your first stop. Ask for a merchant named Hendrik at the inn at the crossroads. One of the Emperor's agents. He should get in touch with you.
That's it? No passwords?
And I
secret
would like for that
handshakes?
movie to be good.
None.
Here's the thing, I would
Sorry to
love it
spoil
if I
your
got out of
fun,
Top Gun 2
your
and it was
boyhood
good.
fantasies about the
But
crafts
my
of the trade. All we have
Initial
in
feelings
Novigrad
about
are
what it's probably
unconfirmed
going to be like,
reports,
because
rumors.
everything
there
I've
you will
seen
have the
coming out
help
the
of
past
our
few years has,
mutual
for the most part, been
acquaintance.
shit. Dune was okay,
Tris
right?
Merigold.
Like, everyone's
Apparently
been
she's got a
praising Dune
cozy
because it's
flat
an
on
okay
Main
film,
Square.
in my opinion,
Sure,
and
she'll
we've
be
just had so
delighted
many
to see
shit
me.
films in a row
What about
that
you?
everyone's like,
What will
oh,
you do?
Dune was so good.
I shall sail for
It was pretty
Skellige.
good.
There
It was
a
decent.
magic explosion
Pretty
there
good's even a bit of a
recently, blew
stretch.
half a
It
forest
was
down.
well
I
made,
believe this had something to do
but it
with
wasn't.
Ciri. I'll be in Caer Troll.
It wasn't
Join me there
perfect.
once
It wasn't
you've learned
amazing.
something.
At no point in time was I really like gripped with the characters.
Guess
I
this
mean, I
means
thought
we need
Timothy
to split up
Chalamet did a
again.
better job than I
Not my
expected.
preference, but I understand.
The rest of the
Clock's
actors
ticking.
were all, I mean, excellent
It is
actors.
indeed.
Oscar Isaac,
So why
Stellan
don't I teleport you
Skarsgård.
to Velen, get you there at once?
Jason
Not
Momoa is
gonna
not the
happen.
greatest actor. He
I'll
plays
go on
Jason
horseback.
Momoa, but he was
Soon as
good
I
for
can get
that role.
changed.
And a doorway? Oh, and you really look quite dashing in black velvet.
Think so? Maybe I can have some of my armor lined with it. Good luck, Yen.
Same to you.
But yeah,
And if you
that
wish to
and
learn
Nobody.
what's happened in
Nobody
the
was
world
good,
while
but
you
that came out in
invest
what,
in
like
roam the
2019,
wilderness,
2020?
talk to Ambassador Vartra. That's him
Joker.
over there.
I watched that recently. Joker was
And
actually
Geralt,
very good. I
know
quite
it's
enjoyed it.
wartime, but try not to be a hero, all right? Just check those leads and come back to me in one piece.
So yeah, it's
I shall be waiting.
just more bad than good, and I can't bank on the fact that, you know, I'm gonna go in and have an amazing time with Top Gun. I kind of want to go opening night, so I don't get oh yeah, watch Yen leave through the portal. Can I rush in after?
I hate portals.
I hadn't noticed that. I had not tried to run in after her before. I like how she just drops you on the other side of the room.
How might I serve the gentleman?
By
And I
returning
want
my
that movie to be
things.
good. I really do. I haven't seen too many of Tom Cruise's recent movies because he's become
Citrus and
just like
cloves. The fragrance will
egregious
keep the
action
gentleman's robes
hero
fresh
guy, and he
somewhat
makes
longer.
good egregious action movies these
Thanks,
days, but it's
bunches.
they're just not to the quality of
The
the
Emperor is
films
not
that he
known
made
for
back
his
in the
patience.
80s and
He wants
even
his
like the
daughter
early
back safe
90s.
and sound, as
Even
soon
to the
as
mid
possible.
90s. The films
Yeah,
just aren't of the
mentioned
same
something of the
quality,
sort.
and his I don't know,
So
his acting style hasn't reflected
A deserter from the Skoye Terre.
very well. Oh, did I get all my shit back? I did. Okay. I ain't playing fucking Gwent. I ain't doing none of that. Get me into the world.
Geralt and Yennefer were reunited, but something even more important happened in Vizima. Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar, and she was in danger. He was to find her, at the Emperor's command and Yennefer's behest.
But yeah, it just kind of sucks. Movies, not great these days. I would love for them to be. And there's such little tiny things they could do to really improve them. Don't try and come in with your own personal political message. You can have a movie that has a political allegory, but you need to wrap it up within the world so that it's well done. look at Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country, which is up there as one of my favorite Star Trek films. I love that movie. It is clearly it's talking about the fall. It's an allegory for the fall of the Soviet Russian Empire.
Come on.
Yes, Undiscovered Country. Clearly, it's allegorical. It's a good movie. It's well done. They wrap it up well within the world, and they treat these characters with respect.
Faster.
I mean, this is the last proper Star Trek film with the original crew for the Enterprise. And they treat the characters well. They treat Kirk with respect, and Kirk has character growth that he's going through the film. Because it's showing that even someone who is supposed to be this paragon of humanity. Oh yeah, there any? I don't think there are anything. There's anything particularly. Oh, that's what I missed. Another signpost and a quest. This quest's kind of stupid, but it gives me...
What do you want?
Rejoice. Some
We're skipping through a lot of this.
This will... That.
Giddy up.
Yes, Undiscovered Country. You have Kirk with character growth. He's having to struggle with his hatred of the Klingons because the Christopher Lloyd Klingon had killed his son in Search for Spock, which I think is a criminally underrated movie, by the way. I thought Search for Spock was a great film, had a solid message at the end, good action. It's not as strong narratively as some of the other films, of course, but it's still a good movie. I don't remember where I picked that up. Yeah, Undiscovered Country. Clearly an allegory for the fall of Soviet Russia and how they had this major disaster, the parallax. Yes, the parallax disaster. Their planet had blown up, their mining planet, caused major devastation to the Klingon Empire. And an armistice was being discussed. Essentially, the START Accords. I mean, it's that close to the allegory. They're trying to completely disarm Starfleet in order to create peace throughout the galaxy, or at least the quadrant. And it's so close to being allegorical, and there's people on both sides who aren't wanting for the war to stop. They're clinging so hard to their built-up prejudices over years of harming each other, over killing each other, and you have Kirk, who's at the center of this, being particularly against having peace with the Klingons. He's ready to let the Empire die. I mean, he says that at the beginning of the film. It's an amazing read from Shatner, too. I guess I'll start high, go low. But it's so well done. It's such a good movie. Wrong button. But yeah, it's definitely possible to have an allegorical film that deals with modern politics that is well done. But they can't do that these days because they're incapable of showing both sides of the conflict. And, I mean, look, Undiscovered Country even leans in a particular direction. They're saying that
sure stinks like a mass grave.
it would be best for
Hope they burn well. Come on, come closer.
for for having a decent peace accord reached. Oh, I was hoping to get another hit in. So these things can be done. They're incapable of showing both sides of the argument. They're incapable of being able to be charitable to both sides of the conflict, which is another thing that's very important in being able to have a proper allegorical story being told. Is you have to you also have to humanize the other side, which is another thing that Undiscovered Country does very well, because you actually have them sitting down and meeting for just having a dinner together. You have the Klingon High Command, well, the Klingon military leaders and the Chancellor and Klingon High Command coming in and having an actual meeting. Or not just meeting, but having a dinner. A cordial dinner.
What? Lost your nerve?
Oh, that almost killed me. Oh, hey, kitty. So that's another thing that they can't do these days. They can't humanize... Oh, kitty. They can't humanize the other side. You know, the Klingons in this allegory would be the Russians. And they have been the enemies to the Federation, who we will automatically see as the more benevolent side, because we've been seeing years of the Federation going around and trying to uplift other civilizations and other communities without directly interfering with them. Trying to spread the best of what humanity and just the Federation can give. Yes, exactly, Godzillionaire, and thank you for showing up here. Yes, the Let Them Die. I was talking about that just a few years ago. Excellent line read from from Shatner. Excellent line read. Just in that conversation that you have going between Spock and Kirk is, I mean, it's such a beautiful conversation. I'm talking about how they were using that film as an allegory for the fall of Soviet Russia. And you have both sides not just being portrayed with good effort, solid effort, good faith to portray both sides of the conflict as having a personality and having humanity and having worth and having their own points of view that are pushing the film forward, but as well you have that going on within the group of main characters. You have Spock, who is on the side of peace, and he's willing to go so far as to essentially leave the Federation open for attack from the Klingons if they decide to no longer value the peace accords. And then on the other side, you have Kirk, who is fully against it. He's fully prejudiced against Klingons, ready to let their civilization die because his son had been killed by a Klingon. It's excellent storytelling, and it's just something that they can't do anymore. So if they're going to make shows, they talk about, we want Rings of Power to show modern politics, to show a side of the modern world, which it really shouldn't. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to be Tolkien's work. You should be respectful to Tolkien's work and his message and his vision. All right, kitty, go on. But they can't do that alone. They're having to put modern day politics into the show, and it's just these modern writers are incapable of being charitable to both sides of a conflict when they are so ideologically driven in one side themselves. And I mean, hell, Gene Roddenberry was even an avowed socialist. He had said that on many occasions, that he was in fact a socialist, and that the Federation was that is the utopia for humanity. That's the socialist utopia he believed in. But of course, he was one of those guys. Socialism has never been done right. But that's not the point. Yeah, even though Gene Roddenberry would have been, ideologically driven to one side of the argument, wanting to say, oh, the Russian Empire had a lot, or not the Russian Empire, Soviet Russia had a lot of problems that led up to its fall, and it wasn't just that. He would have probably tried to couch it and be like, oh, it's not real socialism. He was still willing to be critical of the failings of the Soviet Empire through the allegories that were done in Undiscovered Country. Godzillionaire saying. Then you see JJ Trek and save Romulans. Yeah. I give zero fucks about the Abrams Trek, new Trek. Anything after 09 isn't real, doesn't count.
Now for a shot of Igni.
Because even the ones that were coming out then that were very, I mean, there's no denying that the 2009 Trek was not very successful. It was. The second film was very successful, and I think the third film wasn't quite... It was successful in the box office, but DVD sales were not nearly as good. But they could still do these things. They could tell political stories. I don't think Lord of the Rings is the right place to do it, which is, what they're going to be doing with Rings of Power. But they could still tell good, strong stories that have a political lean that I might not even be entirely in favor of. It's not like I'm entirely in favor of the political leanings that were driven forth in Joker, but damn it, if that movie wasn't good. That was an excellent film.
Shit, one's still alive.
Yeah, the 09 Trek. Everything since is garbage. Yeah, everything. Even the shows are garbage now. And I remember when they first announced that they were going to be doing, CBS series was going to be doing new Star Trek. It was, this was leaked years ago, and my friends and I sat down and we were talking about it. We were talking about like what things could they do within the existing world of Trek, how many amazing things could be done, and the big one that we had clung on to that we really thought was like a solid choice, it would be a good go-to, you would get next gen fans in the door immediately, is doing Riker on the Titan, because he had the
hired a Witcher to burn the bodies.
Yeah, the Titan, that was his ship. That would be awesome. And they had also talked about having Gates McFadden come back and do like essentially a medical style show, one of the more procedural dramas, which it's okay to do procedural drama with Star Trek. There has been a lot of procedural drama Star Trek, and it works well. That's kind of what it was originally based on, was that style of storytelling. So, they were talking about doing the procedural drama, Gates McFadden as like a
now for a shot of Igni.
Medical style show, kind of like, I don't know what shows are popular for that, Grey's Anatomy or whatever. But that's what they were talking about doing. Those sounded awesome. Those sounded amazing. I so wanted to see Jonathan Frakes come back in and do Riker. Godzillionaire says, I watched the first half of Discovery premiere because it was free. Wasn't worth the $5.90 a month or whatever for CBS All Access or whatever it was then. Yeah, I don't know how much CBS All Access is, and I haven't watched any of STD. So I'm going to say something that sounds mean, because it kind of is, but I love my parents, and I understand where they're coming from. But my parents are kind of normies a little bit. So when they tell me, like, oh, this show's so amazing, I'm always like, okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. And they know I'm a big Star Trek fan. They're big Star Trek fans, but they're also, you know, they're normies. So I kind of have to take their recommendations with a grain of salt.
Slow now.
Where am I having to go to meet this bastard? He's all the way up there. Well, shit, I'm going to hit some markers in the meantime. See if anything's worth it. So yeah, they were telling me to check out STD before it was even really popular. Come on, we're getting stuck on trees.
Oh, you're fucked.
Oh, they right here? Or are they underneath me?
Strip him, then dump him in a ditch.
Come on, come closer.
There we go. Yeah, I didn't watch STD. I didn't watch Picard. I think I watched, like, Drinker's early reviews of Picard and a couple other people, and immediately I was like, this doesn't sound like the kind of show I'm going to give a single flying fuck about. Like, I love Picard as a character, but if they're not going to give him any respect, the respect that Picard should have frickin' earned throughout the Federation. I mean, even in, like, alternate universe, whatever, you know, separate timeline, which is a dumb frickin' idea in the first place, he should still be, like, well-renowned.
Stench.
He should still be a top-notch, well-renowned, well-known man. Hoping for mutagens. Hey, mutagens. I'll take those. But they did Picard so dirty. Kitty, you are about to fall off this table. He got no respect. They straight up treated him like crap, and I didn't want to see that. I don't want to see, you know, some Joe Biden doddering around old man wannabe that's supposed to be frickin' Picard, who they treat like shit. I don't want that. Hey, Kitty, I'm trying to see this. Excuse me, Kitty. You taking up, like, all this room here. Yeah, you go ahead and lay down. Yeah, in no way, shape, or form was I interested in that. What are the other ones they've done? Strange New Worlds just came out. I don't even know anything about Strange New Worlds. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with Top Gun. Like, I love Top Gun. I love the original movie. I would love for nothing more than the new Top Gun film to be amazing. I would love nothing more than for it to be good, but I don't know if I can trust it. I've been burned too many times by the modern movie industry. Every franchise that they've had a redo, remake, whatever come out of, I've given zero fucks about. In fact, it's all made it significantly worse. So I don't know if I'm even going to care when that film comes out. And all of Star Trek has just been done so dirty. And it's so sad because they had so much to work with. Like, how they wanted to be able to do all of these crazy things with Star Wars, they could do. Star Trek has, weird shit going on all the time. Yeah, Strange New Worlds literally blamed January 6th as the start of the path that leads to World War III, says Godzillionaire. Yes, I heard about that. I didn't watch the episode, of course, because I don't care to, because I don't care to give my viewership count to CBS All Access, which I do actually, funnily enough, have access to CBS All Access. What else do I have to kill in here to destroy the monster nest? What am I missing? Oh, is it a loot thing? Was there something else? Was that it? Am I missing something in here to not finish up the monster den? Oh, there should be a nest in here somewhere, shouldn't there? I'm not finding it. Okay, I guess I'm just going crazy. Yeah, and that is one thing. There was established lore already set up for how World War III had started, the sparks of it, and how the political situation was at the time. And I mean, they even went into that with in Deep Space Nine, in a time travel episode where they went back to the I think it was the late 2020s, and I mean that was basically a civil rights riot style thing. That's So like you can go political and you can do political things with Star Trek, just you have to do them well, and that's what they're missing out on. All right, well I'm done searching through this place. If I don't find it, I don't find it. Don't care. Yeah, it's just entirely sad how these amazing franchises that once kicked complete ass were amazing. Star Trek, Star Wars. That better not be the last thing I need to kill. I don't know, that is a,
Plowing goat fucker!
What? Lost your nerve?
Strip him, then dump him in a ditch!
Come on.
Try me!
Did I really just get... Oh, hey! I might die. Let's see.
Witchcraft!
I'm gonna have to actually try to kill these dudes. Where's the hangmans? There we go.
Oh, you're fucked! Get him! Come on! Instead of grabbing your job first!
Not too late to surrender.
There we go. Yeah, New Trek, it's all so bad. I can't stand it. They've done it to everything. And I don't know if I can trust any new shows that are coming out.
We'll flail your skin off.
Which I think is really unfortunate,
Go for the whore's son's eyes!
because I would love for there to be new good shows coming out. I mean, I'm having to go back and rewatch old shows again that I know are going to be good. I've been rewatching Man in the High Castle, which also, unfortunately, at the final season turns to shit. So you get, 3 solid seasons for Man in the High Castle, and then the 4th season, which, lo and behold, guess what they do? they ran out of material from the book, and they just kept making frickin' show. Yeah, come on, open the damn thing.
Look for me stole by the bridge across the pond tower. Got goods for the army, mostly.
What else I got? Nope, just off to the actual marker.
For you.
Well, they haven't killed Stargate yet. Yet being the key word. That is true. That is true. I never got super deep into Stargate. I've seen the movie, which is really good. I've watched, I think I watched the first one or two seasons of SG-1. Which was good. I don't know. Never got super deep into it for some reason. Excuse me, kitty. But yeah, it's unfortunate that there's so many other great franchises out there that you know they just haven't gotten to yet. Oh, are you sitting on my keyboard, kitty? There we go. Yeah, been pretty much only watching anime these days, nothing else really to watch. I mean, as far as new stuff, yeah, unfortunately, that's pretty much true. Nothing new that you're going to properly enjoy.
Well, Witcher?
So, took care of the graves. Interesting, actually.
What do you mean?
Fist tech dealer. One of them survived. You...
Ah, 3 on... Dead man! Dead man!
Well, that was easy. But yeah, I can't even think of any new shows that have come out that I've really enjoyed. Yeet Boy, how's it going? New shows that are good. Man, like the last shows that I could actually recommend to people that came out probably would be in 2013 is probably the earliest I could go for a solid show. Okay, well, Ven Bros was coming out after that, but Ven Bros was also done very dirty in that we just don't have a proper conclusion to it yet. That's the only real issue with Ven Bros. Other than that, it's good stuff. Great stuff. Now that didn't start in that started back in technically 2003, but they got more prevalent in 2004. That's when they really claim it. Come on, keep running, you damn horse. Useless.
Giddy up. Slower.
Oh, come on. Why did I have to get stuck in these lands? Nope, kitty, quit taking my shit. Yeah, classics are really good. That's what I've been watching lately. I've been watching, the wife and I have been watching Battlestar Galactica. The redo came out in 02, 03, something like that. I've been watching Daredevil, which, I mean, that's still, in my opinion, Daredevil is the best Marvel show that has come out. Been watching Man in the High Castle, another show that was excellently done. Excellent show.
Whoa there, Roach.
Screw it. I'm gonna stop and go do that quest. I don't even know what it is. Tons of shows that came... Oh, but the shows in 2013 that came out that I could recommend. Pretty much just... I'd say if you're into cartoons, and I know it's a Cal Art style, which not everybody likes, but
come out.
Gravity Falls. That was a fun show. It was good. It's 3 seasons, and then it's over with. That was what the creator wanted to make. So those three seasons, they didn't get pulled in to making it continue longer and just stretching out the show. They didn't do any of that crap.
But maybe this'll help.
3 seasons, it ends solid. The
Yeah,
other 2013
you.
show I could
Your
recommend
comments.
would be Hannibal, with Mads Mikkelsen and Hugh Dancy and Lawrence Fishburne. Um, Hannibal's a bit, it gets a bit weird at times. It gets a bit artsy, but not overly artsy, not too much. Excellent actors. It's one of the few instances of that I truly can. Oh, I forgot they changed my my thing there. I don't want that. I want. Yeah, I'll take the Noon Wraith instead of a 10% chance to dismember. Excellent actors. They do. They properly do race swapping and gender swapping, and they do it very well. In fact, because it's all only based off of the only material they actually had to work off of was Red Drag the book Red Dragon.
Coming. Run for your lives.
That's the only one.
Not give her up. Not on me life.
They hear her squealing. They'll kill us and take her
And so, and you know, if you've read Red Dragon, you know that it's pretty much just old white guys. That's pretty much the entire cast, excepting oh crap, name flew right out of my Will Graham. Excepting Will Graham, he's not an old white guy, he's a middle-aged white guy. But other than that, it's a bunch of old white guys. And so I understand they wanted to have a bit more of a diverse cast for Hannibal. They changed, like, Alana Bloom, played by Caroline DeVernus, excellent actress. That was Alan Bloom, that was a man, but it's a good actress, and she serves an important purpose in the show, and she's a well-written, well-rounded character, and you don't care. I mean, if we're talking about actors actually looking like the characters, Harvey Keitel was the closest to Jack Crawford that you're ever going to get. He was a short, stubby, white guy with big hairy arms. That's Jack Crawford. Harvey Keitel perfectly fits that. Does an excellent job at it. But then you have Lawrence Fishburne come in, and it's Lawrence motherfucking Fishburne, and you're like, hell yeah, it's Lawrence Fishburne. I'm gonna watch it because Lawrence Fishburne's in it, because he's an amazing actor. He's, I mean, top-notch actor for modern day. He's up there with like Jared Harris and Stellan Skarsgård. You've got like Lawrence Fishburne. He's just great. And I even read Red Dragon after I had watched the Hannibal show. But I kept seeing Lawrence Fishburne in my head as I'm reading it, even though I have this description of he's like a 5'8", like 240 pound, 230 pound, not fat but stocky. You know, got a little pudge to him, but stocky white guy with big hairy arms, big, particularly his forearms being extremely hairy. And but it's also well done.
And not a second too soon.
Oh, there's a contract? I don't know.
So long.
Let's find out about that first. But it's one of those shows that's very well done, and that's probably one of the most recent shows that's come out that I can truly give a recommendation for.
What do you want with him?
Is Hannibal. You get 3 solid seasons. Unfortunately, the show was cut off. They were prepared to do a bit more with it, but they knew going into the 3rd season that it was going to be their last season, so they tie up the main storyline in a nice little bow. It's an, you know, good solid finish to it. And then you get Red Dragon. They give you a 6-episode version of Red Dragon. And it's very well done. It's very close to the book as far as the actual plot goes, but it takes place within their own particular universe. It is more of a parallel story. It is not actually within the standard Hannibal universe that we've gotten from the books or the movies. It stands on its own, and that's fine. They can do that. It just has to be well done. They could do almost all of these things that they want to do in modern movies and TV shows. They could have their, diversity in there, but you need to pick I'm being a dick. Back off or
Someone
die.
who'd
That's what
prefer
Geralt
not
is
to be
saying.
bothered while he's having a drink.
You could do all of these things. They want to do in
We've a
movies.
distinguished gentleman in our midst.
But they just
Shine
have to
your
be done
boots,
well,
governor.
and that's what they're incapable of, because they've all been conditioned through virtue signaling that all they have to do is put out the virtue signal,
Did you hear what I heard?
and they're going to get praise. Of all they do is they change the main character to a woman, or if you have the male main character, but you have a female character who's lording over him and actually doing all of the tough work.
Form a row!
As long as you do all of that, they're going to get praise. You know, people will clap for him.
Have you any idea what the Baron will do when he learns of this butchery?
And it's just...
The village! He'll
It's
tear it
ruined
apart
modern
before
TV shows and
anyone can
movies
say it
too.
was
I mean, they've been
some
going downhill for a long time, but damn, they're getting to a point where I'm not sure if they're going to be able to properly recover, at least in the same form that we're getting them now from the same platforms. Indie is where we're going to see better things being made. We're going to see people who want to write good stories fleeing to the indie realm.
Mine lives it.
Don't know where.
Others.
Yeah, let's get through this
Go.
No.
through this stuff. It could all be done, but they don't do it. They don't do it. They just make crap, and it's sad. Wasn't there a back door over here? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it back away.
Don't kill me.
Is there another one of these guys? I see a red dot. Kill somebody else. I don't mind.
Not too late to surrender.
Eat Boy says, yeah, it's a bunch of crap. Yes, it is. In fact, that's all we get these days. And I would love for nothing more than to see a good TV show. And I still give them chances. I didn't have faith in Moon Knight because of what Marvel's been doing. I didn't have faith. I didn't think they'd be able to do it well. But I gave it a try. I gave it a solid chance. And that was my mistake. That's my fault. But I wanted it to be good. I was even very charitable for the first episode of Moon Knight. Quite charitable. And it actually started out decently. I thought that Oscar Isaac was going to be able to keep it up. Oscar Isaac is an excellent actor. I've liked him in most of the movies that I've seen him in, particularly Ex Machina. I thought that was an excellent film.
Come on.
As I was saying before about Dune. I didn't think Dune was that great of a movie, but I'm going the wrong direction. But they did have excellent actors. It was decently written. I didn't have any real complaints about the movie Dune. It's just, I don't know, it didn't hit me right, I guess. But yeah, I'm waiting patiently for indie films to take over, for indie to be the standard of where people who actually want to write good movies go.
What's going on here? Why isn't anyone putting that out?
We want it to burn. Got it?
Piss off, or we'll fry you along with a fucking elf.
There's a third way out of this situation.
Oh, once again, tough fight. Let's, oh, I still have Tawny Owl.
Mistake.
There we go. Give me all their long swords. Oh, is there another bandit? Come on, give me another bandit. Yeah, movies just, I don't know, they can't be at the same level that they used to be. Yeah, there we go.
Run. Fast.
Anything cool in here for me? Nah, just a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, I gave Moon Knight a chance. I gave it the good old college try. I wanted to be good. I was actually even interested in the whole DID aspect of it, of him having dissociative identity disorder, and how, you know, you have this hero who's now contending with this massive responsibility. Alright, Yeet Boy, I will see you later. I'm actually hopping off here pretty soon. I will be over at Shellback TJC's channel for the warm-up for yelling at parked cars. What was that? How did I fail that quest? Really? All I had to do was talk to the survivor? Alright, well that's stupid. But yeah, I'm about to hop off here, Yeet Boy. You have a good one. You have an excellent day. Hope you have a wonderful tomorrow as well. But yes, I'll be over on Shellback TJC's channel in about 30 minutes-ish. It's usually about when he starts. Have a good one. But yeah, I would love for nothing more than for movies to be good. That's what I would like. We had them for a long time. Now, here is the thing. Here's the contention, because we had for a long time we had the Hays Code that films were following by, so that they were essentially self-regulating them, because the local governments were actually quite stringent on what would be considered freedom of speech. And so they, you know, local governments, state governments were going to start putting restrictions on filmmaking and filmmakers, and so to combat that, they decided to let the film industry do some self-censorship, some self-regulation, and you had films that had to follow the Hays Code, or they wouldn't be seen in major theaters. So we had that for a long time, and then when the Hays Code was finally dropped, and they basically said that it was basically confirmed that if you were to censor a film, regulate a film within a state, it would be a First Amendment freedom of speech violation. And so you had that. Now you still have a rating system that theaters generally do follow along with the rating systems. They don't allow just anybody to walk in and purchase any movie. There are certain things, you know, violence and sexuality particularly, that are withheld from children being able to see them. But that's more of the theater companies themselves imposing those rules, as opposed to what we see with like actual regulation. But after the Hays Code was lifted, we had a lot of excellent films come out after that, because it didn't get dropped until really like the late 1960s, early 1970s. That's when it stopped really being a thing in films anymore. And we had good movies before that, but I mean, think about the 70s and the 80s. That is quintessential American film era right there. That's when, I mean, we were getting Dirty Harry films. We got Alien, Halloween films. We were getting, you know, Top Gun came out then. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Blade Runner, The Thing, E.T., just excellent films. Goonies, Stand By Me. Just some of the best movies that have ever been made of all time happened after we had a long period of crap coming out. Not all of it was crap, but we had a long period of films that were having to be censored or were specifically leaning in a certain direction, more so morally than politically. But either way, we had a long time of control over the creative market, and it got lifted, and we had a lot of good things come out. So I'm thinking that this new wave of cancel culture style censorship is going to push more people who want to be creative and want to have the freedom to be creative into the indie film industry, which will help that industry to grow a little bit more, to get a little bit more recognition. We're going to, I mean, I've seen some good indie horror films that have come out for the past few years, and a lot of filmmakers who spent a long time trying to make good, solid indie films that have made their way into the more mainstream film industry, like what's his name, Robert Eggers, something like that, did The Northman recently. You have like The Void. That was such a good movie. I loved The Void. Indie film, crowdfunded to do the special effects. Amazing movie. So that's kind of my silver lining for that, is to say it sucks that movies aren't good anymore. But it's not the worst thing to happen. We have seen long times of censorship and control over these industries, and we have seen them come out on top, and we have had excellent time periods of great entertainment coming out. And I see that happening again in the future. So I think that's where I'm going to leave everybody today. I would like everyone out there who's either watching this now or watching this later in a repeat to, have yourself a good day. Tackle tomorrow with a bit of fervence. Put your chin up. It's hard sometimes, especially if you're going through a difficult time in your life. Having a positive outlook for the future, particularly in a difficult and dark time, will help you later on. It's not an automatic fix. It's not going to get rid of all of your problems, but it will leave you more energy, it will leave you with an easier start for whatever problem you're having if you come at it with a positive attitude. So I would like for everybody to try and do that. I'm going to try and do it myself. We'll come talk to each other again next week and see how that this positive outlook is working for us. You've got rough, hard day at work. You're like, well, you know what? I'm home now. I'm going to hop on, play some video games. I'm going to talk to my significant other, going to watch some movies, going to read a book, going to make something cool with my hands, be creative. I always encourage people to be creative. I'm going to learn how to paint. I'm going to start doing this. Going to try to draw something. Going to write up a game for my friends. We're playing a tabletop game. I'm going to make a dungeon. Do something creative. That's always, I find that to be quite therapeutic. Not therapy, but therapeutic. So, yeah, I'm going to leave everybody with that. Hope all of you have a wonderful day. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes, and never